Well, hello, Robert at Crosscut Creations. How are you? Robert says hi. I'm uh, I'm trying my first real live stream here, and I'm going to be putting a engraved logo on the bottom of a bowl. So, real excited about that. How are you this morning? Robert says nice. Things are going good. So, that's nice to hear. So, I have this bowl and I can take this bowl and hopefully engrave a logo in the bottom of it. That's my goal for the day. I need to do something in my software here to navigate to that image I'm going to use. So let me share the image here with the screen. Yeah, Robert says he's just hanging out before the virtual pen show today. So I'm real excited about that. It's on Facebook at can you type in the name of it there, Robert? I think it's virtual gathering or something like that. And I think it starts at around noon Eastern time in the US and then goes for about 5 hours. I'm here doing this early. I didn't want to conflict with that at all, but I'll be watching a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of good stuff going on. I know Robert's going to be showing doing a demo on, I believe, casting a gum seed. Is that what it's called? A gum seed pod, something like that. And so that's neat. There's got 5 or 6 people doing demos. Each one lasts about 45 minutes. So really excited to see that happen later on today. But yeah, so I have my bowl, and we're going to be engraving on. Let's see. So Robert says, yeah, he's going to be doing a sweet gum pod casting. Starts at noon. You can find them on Facebook. I think it's at the name of the group is Virtual Gatherings or something. Um, let me see if I can pull it up here. Okay, yeah, I think I've got it. Let me copy. Come back over here and I'll paste into the comments there the URL, and let's show that as a banner up here as well. So that virtual pen gathering will be at Facebook, and the URL is right there. Virtual gatherings starts at about noon. Real excited for that. And so I have my bowl here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an image right there, that image, and I'm going to engrave that image on the bottom of the bowl. So I'll be using my NEJE Master 7W. So it's a nice powered laser. It's not underpowered. It's definitely not overpowered. But it's a neat little laser, and we'll be engraving this logo on the bottom of that bowl. So looking forward to getting started with this. And then if we have a little bit of time, my plan is to throw this back on the lathe, sand around that logo a little bit because there might be a little bit of like burning around the logo, and then refinish the bottom of this bowl a little bit with some Obi Shine Juice to just finish off the bottom, the foot of that bowl. I did a little prep work on some walnut. Let's see. I did some prep work on some walnut and put a version of the logo in there. Now that logo right there burned at like 75% power on the laser at 7 milliseconds or something, and it's about 40 millimeters across. When we pull it in today in this demo, we're gonna pull that in. We're gonna make it a little bigger, about 45 across, and do that engraving. So let's get started here. So we'll be using the NEJE version 4.7.2 software that is downloadable from the NEJE website, and here is basically the URL for that as well. Let's get that out there. So in the comments, so there it is in the comments as well. And so yeah, so we'll be using that software available at that site right there. So the nejetool.com master_7w.html is the address for that. But we'll be using that. I have a separate camera set up already here that is that's pointed at the laser, and I turned the laser on. So my goal here is to share the application window for that software here. So we have that software up, and so what we'll do with the software is there's a lot of capabilities inside of the software as far as doing things. And when you start up the software, I also had turned on my my laser engraver. So the laser engraver is sitting there turned on and plugged into the computer already. But when you start up this NEJE software, it takes you to this screen right here, this tab, this control tab, that gives you the ability to do a lot of predefined things. Now, I had went into like a drawing tool on my iMac and created that little logo that I showed a minute ago. And so, and when I created it as a PNG with a transparent background. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to pull that into this software and then use that in this software. And to do that, it's a PNG file, and you can see right here where it says drag a BMP or a JPEG here to start. Well, you can drag in a PNG file as well. So you won't be able to see it on your screen, but I'm going to open up my Windows File Explorer, and I'm going to drag the file, and I'm going to drop it on there. You'll see the results of it. I hope. Oh, it let me reshare my screen because it opened that up in a separate window. So when I dragged and dropped that, Let's see if that'll, here we go. Somehow or another, I'm using StreamYard and my browser closed, and I think I temporarily lost my stream. I'm hopefully back. Let me see if I can bring up my my second camera again. Hello? Yes. Okay. So let me see if I can get back in here. Oh my goodness. I know, Robert, I know I've seen this happen to some other people. And I thought I was being real careful about not hitting back buttons and stuff like that. But let me do one thing here, because I don't know if my sound is okay anymore. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully I'm sort of back there, and you see me side by side again. And so what I was sharing was the screen that came up after I had the NEJE software open. I dragged my file out there, and Robert at Crosscut Creation says, haha, happens to the best of us, and the sound is good. That's good. Yes, thank goodness. So I had my NEJE software open. I dragged my my image in there that I want to engrave, and when I did that, and let's see if this kills it again. It opened up this screen right here that allows me to do a few things, and what it does, I'm going to click OK. It allows me to set a size for it, and it looks like the size of this thing was basically 26.55 millimeters by 12 point something. Now I'm going to adjust this, and I'm going to adjust it bigger. And it's not sharing the screen anymore, it looks like. So oh, that's because when I clicked next, the software opens up a new window for everything it does. And so once I brought the software in and I clicked OK, it takes me to the screen where I can adjust the size. And it's 26.55 by 12.3 millimeters right now. I know I want to make it a little bigger, so I'm going to adjust the width, which brought up a dialog box you probably can't see, but I'm going to type in 45 for a new width and click OK. And then it's going to prompt me and tell me that I'm trying to make the image larger than its original. Well, you know, that may be a problem sometimes, but I don't think it's a problem here because I'm going to be engraving this in wood. It's not like I'm printing it on a piece of paper or trying to make a photo out of it where everything is sharp. I'm sort of bound by the limitations of the wood. So making this image a little bigger isn't going to affect anything. And so now I can see that I changed the width to 45 and it scaled the height for me automatically. So I'm going to click OK. And when I click OK, it brings up a new screen that allows me to sort of take some liberties with the image as far as like the paths that the laser takes and how much detail it puts into the image. And I played with some prints of this a little bit yesterday, and I sort of liked that one right there that I clicked, and then the whole thing disappeared again, of course. So let me share again. And that finally takes us to this screen here. And on this screen, we're able to do quite a few things that that we're probably not going to do in this demonstration, but we can talk through a little bit. One of which is I can input a lot of text. Now, my image already has all the text in it that I'm going to print, so I'm not going to do that. But if I typed in some text here, and then I could select a font and a size for the font and stuff like that. If I did that, then I can click this little insert button, and I can put that text out there somewhere in this image. Notice how small it looks if you can see it because I picked a very small font. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to insert any text out there. We're not going to rotate this or flip it or reverse it or anything. We're going to be very happy with it and click OK. And when you click OK, as luck would have it, another application window, and we're finally here. So this is my control page in the software, and the cool thing about this is, and we're going to take advantage of a couple of those things because here, let me real quickly, when we engrave on the bottom of this, I might want to have the image a little bit higher in the top of it instead of like right in the middle or whatever, and I'll be able to control that on where I place it over here in the engraver. So right, when I put that into the engraver, I'll be able to control that. Now, to understand exactly where everything is when you're looking at the engraver, that's where this little tool shines, because I can go over here and click this button to center the laser. And what we should have seen is we should have seen the laser move and basically center itself in what would be the middle of the image. Now here's where it gets neat on that page, is I can take my crosshairs on my mouse cursor and I can click in my image. Let's say I click here. The laser will move to that position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select like about the closest to the middle of this image as I can. Right there, I think. Which I wasn't showing. So let me show you again, because guess what? That opened up a new window. So screen, application, here we are here on this. So what happens when I Yeah, so I'm on the right one. This software makes it tough to screen share. So when I clicked that button, that brought up a new window that they call their precise location window. So it died again. I won't. I don't think I'll try this again, but I want to finish this. So let me real quickly here get my second camera back into the stream. So it's back in there. Hopefully I'm back and you can see me again. So so what I was doing is showing the precise window for positioning, and basically as I click in the image, I can click and center on exactly where I want the laser to go, and then hit the quit button, and takes me back to the software right here. And with this software, what we're going to take advantage of is the combination of those two things. Robert says I'm back and my audio is good. I don't know if that was the second time or the first time. But we're basically ready to engrave. And so over here on the engraver, I'm going to put the bowl in here. And I'm trying to get the bowl as high as I can. And positioned where I want. And I can't quite do it with that setup. The bowl was hitting this edge over here. I need to remake my jig a little bit. So let me find a narrower piece of wood. I want that bowl to be up a little higher. Okay, well, it's going to print sideways there. I want to make sure I'm focused as good as I can be, and I think I am. And so Now, if I go back to my software, one of the things I like here is this little button right here where it will trace the outline on the laser. So if I click this button right here, if I click this button, the laser will trace the outline of the image. And now I can move my bowl and get it exactly where I think I want it. I click that button again, and it'll stop. And I am at 75% power, 10 milliseconds. I made that thing 45 millimeters. I have my little laser safe glasses. So if I need to look at the laser, I'll put these on. And we're ready to hit the run button. So let me make the laser the focus here. I'm going to hit the run button and we'll see it start to fire off. So there we have that. Let's see if I can I don't know how I get this thing to switch to where the laser is the bigger one. So now that thing is running. Robert at Crosscut Creations says that's super cool. I have the smaller NEJE and have been trying to set up pen engraving. You know, I've made a little jig to help me with some pen engraving. Let me while that thing is over there running, we'll keep it in a small window. So I've 3D printed a little jig that I can use for printing on pen blanks. I haven't quite got it like perfect yet, and so it doesn't do a great job on the laser. But I've also had really good luck with printing just names. I can put a pen or any little tube in a small like little trough on the printer bed and then print to it, and it does a great job. And so so I might do a video on that soon. I don't know if I'll try to do it live streamed like this one, sharing this software, at least not sharing it using StreamYard, because somehow or another the browser kept dying. But you know, that I guess that is what it is. So, and we're using the NEJE Master 7W laser, and you know, they have brand new versions of that now. There's a version 2 of it. I'm not sure what all changed in it. I know that they've updated the software for it. They've done a lot of things with the new version. Let me put the glasses on and look over there. Looks like we're I don't know, 40% of the way through or something. Here, let's zoom in a little bit there. Maybe get a better view of what's going on there. And if we if we go back to the software itself, and let me take these glasses off. I don't know if you can see it on the screen well, but the software, since I'm still connected, is showing me the progress. What it's already burned is red, and what still needs to burn is black. And so you can see the progress that's being reported back to the browser, or I mean back to the software. So it's really pretty neat stuff. The software typically works really well. It's for some reason or another blown up my browser twice, and so I've had to rejoin my own live stream. But the software does work pretty well. It has a decent amount of capability. I wish you could do more with saving things and going back and adjusting settings and stuff. It's a little kludgy, a little clunky when it comes to stuff like that. But it does a really good job. So yeah, let's go back to that. So Robert says he has a jig. He just needs to figure out sizing and boundaries. And yeah, you know, like I was saying, I've made this jig, which is I created it in Fusion 360 and then 3D printed it on my Artillery Sidewinder X1 printer, and it's all fine and dandy. But I haven't quite got the dimensions on it perfect. Where I'm struggling is actually in this middle piece. The middle piece is just a little bit too short. So when I tighten this thing down, it's causing a little pressure on the bearings that I put in there, little roller skate bearings, and then this doesn't turn. And it's been like 4 months since I played with it, so I need to get that back out and play with it a little bit. And then I'll start trying to do some printing on some pens. And I don't plan on printing on pens right away. I'm just going to take some junk wood. You know, I have some, I don't know, I bought some pen blanks a long time ago that are just, you know, plain, nothing special. I don't think I'd ever want to put them on a pen. The grain's not great. There's nothing exciting about it, right? But I'll probably take some of these and turn them down. I won't even put a tube in them. I'll just turn them down to, you know, bushing size, and then I'll use them as experiments on that laser. So and I'm not afraid to turn it a little big, do a print, turn it a little bit, do a print, rotate this thing, print to a different position, and the laser just stopped. It finished. It completed. So let's take a look there. But I'm not when I'm what I was saying was you know, when I take a piece of wood like this, if I turn it down and then experiment on it, I'll turn it a little fat, do some experimenting on it, put it back on the lathe, turn it down a little bit, do some experimenting on it, turn it down a little bit, do some experimenting on it, so I can get a lot of little prototyping in or something really quick. Let's now here's something I didn't take into consideration. So when I made this bowl was a solid piece of walnut that had a real bad section in the middle of it. And so what I did, I cut that section out and I put another piece of walnut in there and glued it together and then turned it. So it's got this piece down the middle of it. Now, just now when I engraved this bowl, I put this bowl on the engraver and I positioned the engraver to where it was putting the logo inside of the recess on the back of the bowl in a position that I liked. What I didn't take into consideration was the stripe that ends up across there because of that piece of wood I put in is not lined up with the logo. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it did a great job putting that logo in there. I mean, look at that, right? Great job. It looks fantastic. And it did it deep enough to where I could probably come back and put a little, oh, I don't know what that waxy material is called. You rub it in there and it goes into the grooves, and then you rub off the outside of it, and it'll leave a different color embossing or something. I don't know I can't remember what it's called, but it's probably deep enough to where I could do that. I can see a little bit of burning around some of the letters. And so my thought is throw this thing on the lathe, turn, a little bit of sandpaper in there, 600 grit or something, just enough to take that off a little, hit the abrasive paste and then some shine juice and finish this thing off. And so that's my plan right now. And so with that said, I'm going to set my camera up. Let's see what that looks like. It's in there. So I'm going to set this thing up and let's see if it'll focus. I put something in there. I don't know why it's not focusing. Ah, focused. There we go. So I'm going to put this thing on the lathe and do just that. Let me put a piece of paper towel in there. Oh, and Robert says that burn looks clean and great. I tell you, it really does. This laser is really a pretty impressive thing. So let's see. Yeah. So let me put this on there. I thought I adjusted this yesterday so it would fit this bowl, so I don't have to mess with that right now. And it does. I'm going to get rid of all this extra paper on here. And then I'm just going to use a little strip of 600 paper that comes off of one of those pin out of a packet like this. So I'm going to use that real quick here. So I think we'll be able to see this. Let me see what it's going to look like. Maybe not great, maybe not bad. I'm going to switch from these glasses. Anytime I put something on the lathe, I'm paranoid. I use a face shield. So let me, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on this. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a touch in there and around this side. There were some places when I was finishing the bottom of this bowl I really couldn't get to. And so I'm just sort of messing with that a little bit. You can see it gunked up the paper. So so now we're really finishing now with our lathe. Let me see what this looks like. Looks pretty good. Let me real quickly here make an adjustment. On this camera. Okay, we're in good shape there. Okay, so we've got that on there. Let's full screen that. Actually, before we full screen that, I'm going to use some shine juice. So this shine juice is I just made it yesterday. I haven't used this batch at all yet, but it's 1/3 shellac, 1/3 boiled linseed oil, 1/3 denatured alcohol, and I'm going to use an abrasive paste that I made. You know, when I went to make this paste, and this abrasive paste is a mineral oil with a beeswax and that that pool filter DE powder. For the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. I can't pronounce it for anything. But you know, Kim Tippin has a nice video on making this. I had watched her video and several others on making this paste. But I'm going to use just a little bit of this paste on the bottom here with a paper towel and prep that bottom. Not a whole lot, right? So little bit of paste. Let's go back to the full screen on that. So little bit of paste in there around the outside of it a little bit, and I'm going to turn this lathe on. Got to watch these jaws. So you know, on a side note with these jaws, I'm going to be working stuff in. You don't want to work stuff up here on jaws like this, because if your paper sticks a little bit as this rotates and there's rotation on this and you have a little pressure, what'll want to happen is this. Your hand will go right into those. If there's a little pressure, it sticks, and then your hand moves, you'll go right into. But if I'm on the bottom of it and I have my fingers are going away from it instead of being pushed into it, I don't want to be up here. I want to be down here. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot there. I do want to make sure that all that wax is cleaned out of there. This wood had some bug holes in it, and there's some of those bug holes popping through the bottom right here and right there. And so I want to make sure, if I can, that that wax is out of there. And now I'm just going to work a little bit of this in. So I'm going to moisten up my towel with it. And I'm going to work it into that area that I'm applying it to. And then I'm going to turn a little bit. Maybe at about 700, which is like as fast as you want to go with this. Staying on the bottom half. I don't want to throw my fingers into that. Heating up this aubergine juice. And this is about all I'm going to do to it right here. This will probably be the last coat. Okay, so that's about all I'm going to do there. Let me take that off the lathe. And then let's see if this will focus. Yeah, so I think you can see pretty well what I was talking about earlier, how I didn't line the logo up with the piece of wood that I inset in the middle there. But I'm okay with that. If I didn't like it, there's enough here, and that engraving doesn't go very thick, but there I have enough material where I could turn that out and I could reburn it. What did it take? It took like 5 minutes to reburn. But I'm happy enough with it. And so, yeah, right. So that looks fantastic to me. Let me move this camera back out of the way. And try to wrap this thing up a little bit here. So, you know, when we started out earlier, you know, I was showing this the sample that I printed, and I added a little bit of power and a little bit of time, and then made this a little bigger. But wow, you know, I'm pretty happy with what was just literally a piece of junk wood that I played with. It has some just right in here, some just gorgeous grain. You just wouldn't believe how awesome that grain is. this bowl, and real happy with this little bowl and how it's turned out. And now very happy with my my logo on the bottom of it. You can see some of those some of the bug holes and stuff in there yet. I didn't turn all that out. I left it in there. I didn't fill cracks or anything. I just left them, and if it cracks more, I'm probably okay with it. Right? It's just a neat little piece of wood I was real happy with. So I probably could have asked along the way if anybody had any questions, comments, threats, about what I'm doing there. I definitely have appreciated your time, and I really do. This is a fun hobby for me. I enjoy doing it, and even the videoing of it and everything to me is like a hobby stuff. It's stuff I'm interested in doing, so I like putting stuff up here. Oh, there's a comment there. Robert says the burn placement is a design feature, right? I guess it is a design feature. There's no doubt about that. And my goal was to sort of get it a little higher than center, which I did, because I didn't want it just in the center. So I put it a little higher than center, but I didn't even take into consideration that. And so happy, love it, fantastic. So that's 52 minutes going on here. So I definitely appreciate everyone's time. I thank you for everything that's everything that people do with my channel. TLF works. I appreciate it when people subscribe and hit the like button. Those things. They don't benefit me personally much, right? I mean, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers, so it's not like I'm monetized or anything. But as a hobby and wanting to see my channel grow, it definitely helps me when people subscribe. It helps when people share a video or like a video. It helps that effort. So I appreciate everyone stopping in and watching me using my NEJE Master 7W laser engraver. And I hope you guys have a great day. And just as a reminder, people that weren't here earlier, there's a great event taking place today called the I think it's Virtual Pen Turners Gathering or something like that. The address there, facebook.com/virtual gathering, will take you to where you can register for this event. And I know that Robert from Crosscut Creations has been commenting in here a little bit. He is doing a demo in that virtual gathering sometime this afternoon. I think it was later. Maybe Robert, you can comment with what time you're on. And there's 5, 6 people that are going to be doing demonstrations. There's some pretty pretty neat people in there demonstrating some pretty awesome techniques. I know that I'll be hanging up from this and in an hour or so logging back in on Facebook and enjoying an afternoon of watching that. I think it's raining here in Dallas. It was yesterday. So either way, I don't plan on going outside today, but maybe I'll turn that on here in the workshop and make something while I watch it. So I hope you guys get to make something today too. And if you have one of these lasers, I hope you enjoy using it. But have a great day. I thank you very much, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.